to begin with, because it's not.
We would have no use, we wouldn't plan any type of use for it.
It's just services three homes out there, right?
Maybe four.
Right, but is
You
there,
want to consider the guys on the corner.
is there opportunity to develop that and put a couple of lots on there to build homes or anything? No?
Basically, just like the road, it's each 66 feet wide. This one's right out here. Right?
We're basically buying for.
Would there be a title transfer fee?
However they deed it to the township. Mr. Lamp approached us. I said I'd go to the county and see what I could find out. And this is where we're at.
Do the homeowners on that lane have any interest in buying it, sharing it between them?
Well, initially, Mr. Lamp, no, I'm not gonna stick my neck out, but we'd have to be in contact. And see what, something that he wanted.
You might run into the same problems as True and Lane, because there's 4 different owners on both sides of it, so the easement would be difficult.
Potentially looking at 10 grand a year.
Well, I certainly think the cost would be like that, it's nothing really. Come up with a scope of what you think needs to be done there, Josh?
I mean, we want 100% can. I don't see the advantage at this point. It was I don't want to say defunct development, but not a completed situational transaction with all of those lots. I mean, that parcel is a road right away by all intents of what they tried to do. A lot 66 feet wide and 900 whatever feet long that runs past 4 parcels. It's not going to make it either private road or public road. Public road part didn't happen 40, 50 years ago. The private road thing didn't happen either. I don't see an issue that we step in and say this needs sorted out in the common public road.
Is the county maintaining it now?
No.
To standards?
It's a parcel. There's not even an ingress egress easement on it, from what I understand. Meaning those people are using the county's parcel to come and go. And the county doesn't seem to have an issue with it, so I don't know.
Somebody put, could be wrong, but I think somebody put the dead end sign, official sign. Huh?
Homeowner did that.
Oh, he did? But you get too many people.
I think that's part of the reason. But there's actually, I think, 2 signs on that road that he put there himself. The individual you're talking about.
Well, I guess we'll just table this and I'll speak with Mr. Lamp and see if I can make contact with the other people. But that probably won't go anywhere either. I'll give it a shot. How's that sound?
Yeah, let's table and get more information. I'm not in favor of spending 10 grand a year at this point, but
Make a motion to table item number 2 on the agenda until further investigation.
second.
Motion's made to second. Any further discussion on this tabling of number 2? All in favor of tabling number 2, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Motion carries. If you think about it, it's going to be a lot more added expenses now. More than a couple loads of gravel.
Next.
Okay, number 3, discussion regarding town signage in general, including discussion regarding continuing sign thefts and new signage needed for Blue Spring Lake area as a result of newly adopted ordinance.
Did the county get back to us with any investigation on any of these, especially the one, no parking one that just came up? Okay,
Let's back up just a little bit, folks. This started, what, 2-3 months ago, people stealing signs, stop signs, etc. Since then, these guys, you know, like Bob, we found 2 or 3 posts on Marion Road, some of them are ours. They run the posts over, take the signs off, right, Bob? It's happened on Carlin Trail, 8-9 signs initially out on, Tensky, some on Marsh, 2 or 4 on Island. They're cutting those penguins, the white penguins that Mark Culverts, throwing in my front yard. No carrying people out there. Well, that's costing us in excess of $2,000. Now Tyson's asked me, he's the sign man for the town, or the county. I told him to hold off on putting any of these 45 signs that up. He has some of our old 15 sitting there that he can put a 4 over. I'll put them up. Save the money there. But let's talk about Blue Spring Lake. People gotta be vigilant out there. You remember a few months ago, we had a meeting out there about putting the no parking sign up. I found the old ordinance, approved in '83, I think it was, for part of Shore Drive. So we thought we'd do that side. Those signs, that roughly was a cost of $1,600, and we got a $4,000 sign budget. Well, of course, we had all these signs stolen, so I don't imagine that will stay within the budget just by taking care of the stolen signs and doing South Shore Drive. But Tyson was out there 3 weeks ago. He started the job on a Wednesday. Called me about a couple things. I said I had to run up and pick some fire number signs up at Lang's. Well, I was at Lang's, you know, I talked about anti-theft mechanisms for signs. Well, he did show me these metal pipes, similar to ones that road signs are on, names, Island Road. Anyway, and they have special clamps, round-headed, tighten the nut breaks off, can't get a wrench on them. So I picked up 3 of those. I brought them home. 2 are sitting next to my garage right now. And I know as soon as threw the last one out, and Tyson's called me, and somebody stole one of the posts he put up the day before. They pulled it out on the top of that hill that you were talking about. Okay, you'll see there's a metal post out there now. He said they pulled it out.
this is the no parking sign that went up that got,
Wasn't there
what was the
24
address? What
hours?
was the address?
What is it, 1185? Something like that. It's a new house up there.
No, I know.
Pulled the post out, filled the hole, scraped the orange markings off the ground where the spray to locate for electric. They covered it up with leaves. There was an orange mark on the pavement. They sprayed that with gray paint. I'll tell you what.
Just trying to cover their tracks. So did the county talk to the?
So of course I called it, yes, I called the SO, the sheriff's office, Deputy Hanson. I said, I want a canvas done on this, it's gotta be one of the homeowners right there, they're putting a new house in. There's cars parked up there all the time, and it's very hazardous, isn't it, there? So I took one of them damn posts right back out there, the one, brand new ones, and it's still there. But I also talked to like 6 gals that were either walking their dogs or taking a walk to be very vigilant and watch, and posting something on Facebook about it. They're still there, and then I had them put flags on the wood posts. But that's what we're going through.
Well, let's go back to my question about the county. What did you say? Heard they investigated?
He said he was gonna go do a canvas.
But did you talk to the new one? I
I'm
want
gonna
to talk to the new
I'll
one.
have to call. I don't know.
I'm not blaming anybody, but
That's 2 points. So anyway, that's where our sign problem is right now. Now Tyson suggested if this is kids, not to be putting the signs back up until after June first. College kids and stuff are stealing. But I don't think it's college kids. I think it's somebody that could be my age, stealing, especially when they're throwing stuff in their front. You see any 20-year-olds coming in here?
That's not a kid, that's covering it up, putting leaves over it, painting the orange stripe out. That's not a kid.
So I'm going to take and put replacement signs up myself. And the posts that are there, at least use these last two anti-theft posts. Nothing's anti-theft, they can just get a sawzall and cut that right off. But that'll make a little noise. But you know, even this last one that was stolen, that had to take some time. People had to operate, do some things there. It's right on the South Shore Drive. Unless you did it at 3 o'clock in the morning or something, who knows,
So, we're gonna follow up with the.
I will follow up with the sheriff. But that's what's going on. What else do you,
And I will bring that one up to the Lake District meeting on
mystery? Anything, Josh?
Now we're at budget for signs, so.
Yeah, so we're done.
Yep.
We're done. For the year.
Question.
Aye.
Does the insurance pay for any of these signs that are stolen?
Oh, what is it, $1,000 deductible, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, but if we're well over that already.
Well, then it's you, because you dealt with the insurance, but see, reach out to them and find out. I did find this out though, they did steal like on Watunski, the big round railroad crossing signs, you know, the yellow one? And on Carroll Trail. Tyson didn't even know that the railroad would pay for those. So they did pay for the one on, replacing on Carroll. But he didn't know that, and we had to get those replaced, on Watunski, because we could really be open to a lawsuit if we don't have those there.
And I would assume any insurance thing, we probably need a police report, so if he has to.
Well, there's 2 or 3 or 4. 4, because I've called several times and made a picture.
I am, we also have on this one, the signage needed for Blue Spring Lake because of the new ordinance. I'm hopeful that I've talked to, the Lake District president, I'm hoping, much like the ATV club paid for the signs for the ATV ordinance, I'm hopeful that we can get the Lake District to cover all, or at least half of the cost of the signs for the ordinance, for the Lake Port ordinance. So I'll be talking to the Lake District tomorrow.
They'll let us know next month.
But we need to move forward, because it takes 6 to 8 weeks. We do need to move forward, getting quotes. And
Tyson, we get those signs through the sign shop in Johnson. So when you come up with what's supposed to be written on them, they'll come up with the size.
somebody had said we already had proposed language. Maybe it was what, I think Ryan may have sent us a picture of another community that they put up. We probably just have to sub our ordinance number and stuff like that.
Where should we put them again? We probably should put them, as you turn on,
I think we need 4 of them. The 3 entrances to Blue Spring Lake Drive, North Blue Spring Lake Drive, South Shore Drive just past the dam, and then one at the border. That's my recommendation. That's what
it makes sense.
I can tell you that if the town's paying for signs, I would vote against 4 of them, because the only one that actually matters is the one at Full Launch.
Maybe we should just get one
So
sign.
I don't think.
I'm fine with that, it's just.
Wait vote on other public access points, so.
Well, I'm fine with that except for one thing. People, that's fine for people who are bringing their boats in and pulling them out the same day or whatever. And it probably should be fine for, because at the beginning of the season or end of the season, they gotta use the boat ramp to get them out, okay? But at the same point, I don't know, it come down to the vote, whether I still would like 4, and it pays for it, I can understand your point there. let me see what the discussion is tomorrow night.
Especially if they're gonna get stolen.
There's that.
Maybe we should put 12 out, meet the insurance liability.
There's that.
Or you can find a way to enforce it.
Let me see what we come away with tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. You know what, bring up the TV thing, because they paid absolutely $2,000 for signs. Absolutely.
Maybe we need volunteers to sit there and watch. Hey, there you go, popcorn.
Everybody gets assigned a street sign that they have to sit and watch.
But it's not,
Terry, you mean just like the boat launch fee that got passed like 8 years ago?
Well, I mean, look at how many people, you get people cleaning highways, that's volunteer, you know. FFA.
but we're not the only ones. Dan Olson went to a district meeting with me here a week or two ago. And the other townships are getting hit too, aren't they?
It's not just us, it's the entire Jefferson County townships. We're all having a similar issue.
What are these people doing with these signs?
In their man caves.
Selling them to the county.
Selling them back to the county. That's Tyson, if anybody's opposed.
How many signs have you refaced in the last 6 months?
Jefferson County and Kentucky.
Okay, see what you can find out tomorrow.
I will do that.
Number 4, report on elimination of real property assessments on towers, specifically cell towers and tax assessments relating to the same.
Discussion regarding the feasibility of it. Oh, I'm sorry, we're on 4, I was reading 5. I make a motion to table this one until a future meeting. I still have to gather a lot more information and facts on this.
Second.
Okay, a motion made and seconded, to table item 4, the report on the elimination of real property assessments on towers. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Number 5, discussion regarding the feasibility of and possible action regarding purchase of office equipment and/or shredding services for the town hall.
I asked for this to be put on the agenda because a lot of our documents and stuff just get thrown in the garbage and then they're dumped out here. Getting a little, when I was working, we had a little shredder box in the copy room and documents that you didn't want to get out there were just thrown in that once a month, once every other month, once a quarter. Depending on volume, they would come and pick it up and they need a burner to shred it. And I just think, some opportunity here for information that we should be a little more security conscious with our documents. And Michelle, I think we could check into that to see how much it is. I don't think it's gonna be expensive. I don't know, but I can't see it would be in, for picking up, for us, it'd probably be a box once a quarter or something like that. Let's see, it'd be more than $200 a year. We'll check into it. Dan?
Yeah, check with the bank, they, whatever you're banking, they do it here in Palmyra, at least once a year. Go down there and take all your 10 bags of whatever.
Oh,
So the bank, whatever bank you're with, or maybe they'll just do it down at the state bank, whatever, Palmyra Bank.
we can check.
I mean, if you're only talking a box or two, you know, if it's a pickup truck, well, that might be something different, but.
Over the course
So
of
something
the
to
year.
look into.
Yeah, once a quarter, every other month, something like that. Yeah, good point, we'll check into that.
We also discussed laptops for the 3 of us, or iPads.
Yeah, the village, and this isn't because of the village, I'm just saying the village, where people on their board have iPads, just based on things that have gone on over the last couple of years, I'm not gonna use my personal computer anymore. And we can get a laptop for $500, I'm picking a figure, that service our needs, and when we're no longer on the board, we pass to the next person, it's just, I wanna separate personal and business, going forward.
You said laptop, you mean a desk, tablet, right?
Well, given my age and eyes, I wanna keep that, not a iPad type thing, so, and their computers are less expensive than iPads, so. What do you think,
That's
John?
fine right now.
We don't need expensive computers, just
No.
lower end.
I think there's a lot of range in what that looks like, so. You can buy a $1,400 laptop that you would use for work purposes, or you could buy a, pardon my French, a shitty $400 one that's probably gonna last 3 years at that point. What do you want anyway, but there's other things to consider when we're doing that.
We also have the software, we have to put the Word and the Excel and stuff on there, we don't need PowerPoint or anything like that, I don't think, it's just.
So that, those, right now, the way that it's set up, the desktop apps are on the, clerk's laptop. Our office seats gives us web access, it's not we'll start blank Word or whatever, but use the office browser version. We've got access to Excel, Word, PowerPoint, all that stuff through those
You
offices.
just show me how to do it.
But data enabled versus Wi-Fi only, I mean, there's, it's like saying I'm gonna go buy a pickup truck.
And what are all the
What
options?
are you gonna get? Are you gonna get the work truck with the rubber floor mats, or are you gonna get a 1-ton crew kit? You know, so. It's something you guys wanna
Investigate, I mean,
ponder, then I think we need to ponder it.
well,
I mean, I can go check out the various things, sure. So if you want, we want to table this while I do some investigation, with Michelle's help, hopefully, into this, and we can come back at the next meeting. But I will stop using my personal computer at some point really quick.
I'll make a motion that, this is tabled until Supervisor Martin does a little investigating with the local bank as far as shredding services and costs and options for computers or iPads.
When can I ask a question?
Public comment.
Please go ahead.
You know, on the website, you all have that new email, but you don't, why is that?
We couldn't get it to work.
Oh.
That's another reason why I want to.
Okay.
Michelle and I tried one day, we're gonna try again, but we weren't able to get it to work for some reason.
Because wouldn't that kind of eliminate some of the problem?
Yes and no,
Just a thought.
yes and no. It would, but I'd still be getting those emails on my personal computer. And who knows what's gonna happen, and I don't wanna have a subpoena when my personal computer is confiscated. So,
Understood.
not that there's anything to hide on my personal computer, it's just finances and stuff like that.
The thing is, you're supposed to be able to go back 7 years, so, you know, they have the right to go back 7 years. Somebody does an open records request, just like that. Anybody that's been on the airport commission, correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, right? So, anything like that can be done. So, I will have to.
I will look into it.
Okay, did we get a second on that?
Second.
Any further discussion? Motion and a second to review options, learn more about this.
Well, hang on, further discussion. So everybody knows, not looking to get a free computer here. This is a town computer, will remain a town computer for all of us, that would be passed on to, at whatever point there are other town board members, assuming it's still a viable computer, would be passed on there. So, just want everybody to understand.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 6, discussion and possible action on the shouldering maintenance needs on town roads. Little Prairie Road has been brought up to me several times by different people. Josh is the man on this, but then I mentioned it to Bob too the other day on possible remedies. Part of our problem is in most of our township roads, I took a ride with Mr. Caw. Well, obviously, Cooper Road, the shoulder's higher than the road, so we have a waterway down the road. The shoulders need to go away. Or, the broad level with the road. Of course, as soon as we do that and peel that off, everybody and their brother's gonna be calling, complaining about that unless we clean it up. So, but that's what really needs to happen with most of our roads, and I think that's a little bit of the problem up on Little Prairie, isn't it? So, I'm all ears.
People aren't gonna be calling complaining, they're gonna be calling with issues that they want us to address.
Oh, yeah. The big thing is if somebody runs off a Little Prairie Road as bad as it was last year, well, you can roll a car over it, you could overcorrect it, whatever. What's your suggestion? Any ideas?
Basically, on Little Prairie, it's grading. The shouldering is probably anywhere from a foot to 2 foot. But when you get to that 2 foot, the ground all goes up. So it all needs to be cut so it drains to the ditch instead of draining to the road. And that's what it's gonna do. You can throw gravel in it every other year, and it's still gonna end up with the same problem unless you take care of the ditch problem. We did go out and look at it, we were gonna do some measuring, and everything that we saw really needs to be cut. Now, how we cut it, that's something that we'll have to discuss and see what the best alternative is for that. Obviously, you don't wanna spend a zillion dollars on it.
Well, that's our newest road that needs to be taken care of.
Well, exactly, and we did notice that a lot of the real edge of the road is starting to crack away. From people that are cutting the corners and are going off the shoulder, and that drops down that far. They're gonna start ruining rims on their cars and whatnot because they're going off the edge of the road. It's just gonna be, it's not ruining just the cars, you're gonna ruin the edge of the road.
So, do you have a meeting with the highway committee or anything?
No, but I would like to make a motion to incorporate discussion on item number 6 and item number 8.
Into this conversation?
Correct.
Motion's been made to incorporate 5, what did you say?
6
6.
and 8.
And 8 for discussion. I'll second it. That's
No, just 6 and 8.
just,
No,
oh yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, 6 and 8. Any further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So this agenda item started as Little Prairie Shoulders only. Then evolved into Little Prairie Road and South Shore Drive, and then Marsh Road, and then it entailed conversations about culverts and all sorts of things. So, number one, I called Bob, I don't know, last week, the week before, to have him go out and take a look at Little Prairie Road. Potentially put a proposal together for us for it. On the drainage side of things, there's been 2 culverts for the last 3 or 4 months, probably more like 5 or 6 years, that have been brought up. One of them is at the triangle or the Y on North Blue Spring Lake Drive. The other one is on Pine Drive, the actual Pine Drive. So I talked with Scott from the village and went out there last Thursday. He took a look at those 2 specifically, and they've got a back truck, jetpack truck actually for cleaning sanitary sewer that they would also use for cleaning culverts out. He quoted me $180 an hour on a time and material basis to do it. On the other end of the spectrum, I know that $180 an hour with a 1 mile commute is the cheapest price we're gonna get for that kind of work to be done. He anticipated 2 to 3 hours to do those 2 culverts. Added to the list is one on, South Shore Drive. Unfortunately, I can't remember what the address is. It's right across the street from one of our public accesses. Last year, we had a resident on the A lot side ask about taking down a maple tree that is in the middle of that. That is probably the worst culvert of the 3 of them. It's a 12-inch culvert with 9.5 inches of dirt in it. So, from a culvert cleaning standpoint, $180 an hour for 4 hours, I think would get us pretty close to at least maintaining these 3. One of our goals in the grand scheme of things with the highway committee, harking back last year, we've got the large diameter culverts, the 7-foot or 6-foot culverts, just to go through and inventory the rest of all of the culverts that we know of or find, and start putting those on some of these proactive maintenance lists. But culvert cleaning for number 1, I would request that we at least allocate 4 hours worth of time at $180 an hour to the village to get these culverts cleaned out so that they could flow water. The one at the Y, there's an issue. Even if we clean that culvert out, we're gonna have to discuss with the Blue Spring Lake Management District because they own the triangle. We'd like to bring this up at the meeting tomorrow. There is a high point in the middle of the triangle that is gonna let water come across or under the road from the lakeside towards the triangle, but eventually it's gonna back up because, again, 30 years worth of cutting grass in there. The swale that used to be in there that you can see at some point in time was shaped is now not. So it's gonna be the point of resistance downstream is the topography of that triangle piece of the lake district.
Well, is it a lake or no?
Towards the wetland.
That's a hill.
Believe it or not, it's not. There's a culvert where the Blue Spring Lake sign and the little bridge, pedestrian bridge thing is. There's a culvert there that goes under, call it South Shore Drive, or Blue Spring Lake Drive, over towards the wetland area. And that's where it's designed to flow. From the person's driveway, under North Blue Spring Lake Drive, to the triangle, across the triangle, call it over towards Highway H. So, right now, the culvert's plugged, so it isn't gonna flow water one way or the other,
But if we get heavy rains, then
it's still
individuals
good.
that live at that property right across the street, it overflows and it sits in their driveway. It's a little bit of a lake. Yeah, so, not disagreeing with you, I'm just asking for clarity.
Yep.
That is a town road, so why are you asking the Lake District about it?
Because
Cost money?
they own the property that the water flows across.
So that, you're saying they should pay for this?
I'm not saying anything, I'm saying that
So what do you, okay, let me rephrase, what do you want me to ask?
there's gonna have to be grading work on that triangle. And whether it's the town or whether it's them, can be another debate on who's paying for what. But in the big picture of things, DNR code does not allow you to take water and move it from one place to another that it wouldn't have naturally otherwise gone. I can tell you that the house would have let the water go towards the lake at some point in time, but they obviously put in a cross culvert to get it towards the triangle, across the triangle, aiming towards the Blue Spring Lake posting board that's not.
What I will probably do is ask Mark Nicholson, who's now the operations manager for the Lake District, contact.
The property on South Shore Drive with the plugged culvert across from our, call it access parcel. That's a similar but different issue. As you come down the hill, this is